Hey everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ingrid Mangiagalli, and I'm your host and teacher and guide and supporter. And I wanted to do a quick, I'm not sure how quick though, because I can talk a lot, intro video to my channel. I've mostly been on Instagram and email, and I recently, I launched my mindfulness website last year, May, so that's been going on for a year, and I've really been feeling called to step away a bit from social media, from Instagram and Facebook, and all the usual tools that online business owners use these days to create and support and market their business. It's been when I started the business in 2017, I started as a VA, and I still support myself as a VA and my family currently while I build this business, the second business. And once I posted the first short yesterday, it was just a repost of content that I shared on Instagram. And this morning I was like, oh, I really feel excited about YouTube. I don't know why. Maybe it's the pace. Instagram is just, I'm not feeling the vibe anymore. Although I've met the most incredible people online, and some of my best friends who I've not met in person is I've met actually on Instagram, and but anyway, so back to that. I wanted to do a quick introduction on who I am, what I'm about, and what you can expect on this channel. And yeah, so I am Ingrid. I'm 39 years old and I live in Eiserfontein, Cape Town, South Africa, with my husband, 3 dogs, and a cat. That's short. I currently have a VA business that I support online coaches with. And I do podcast management, but my ultimate or my passion work and my I don't know how to say it, but my real passion is teaching women to slow down, and teaching them ways to support themselves through anxiety, stress, and infertility. So, back to what I do. I'm a mindfulness and meditation teacher, and what I like to call a transformation facilitator. I'm also an intuitive oracle and tarot reader, and I facilitate online and in-person women circles. So, like I said, I teach women healing modalities so that they can support themselves through stress, anxiety, infertility, and with that, miscarriages. Hopefully not, but yeah, a little bit of that a little bit later. But I started meditating in 2018, started my VA business in 2017, and I started working with an online coach or mentor in 2019. I set an intention to break generational trauma, the generational trauma cycle in my family. And since then, I have gone on an incredible, challenging, but incredible journey. Since 2018, I've meditated and have about 120,000 minutes of meditation that I've done. But mindfulness started basically in 2021 when I had a download about mindfulness. At that point, I was just meditating here and there, and I looked into becoming a facilitator, and that was literally the turning point for me. I hosted, later in 2021, I hosted a mindfulness challenge where I had immense downloads about the crazy and the amount of stress I was under for basically my entire life. Um, you know, I think all of us can attest to it. We are currently under so much pressure, under so much stress. If you look at the statistics, it's just rising incredibly. So during the mindfulness challenge, like I said, I was taken back through my childhood and my entire life, and it was made known to me how immensely under stress my body was. In 2015, we had our first miscarriage, and luckily I was on leave when it happened, but I went back to work afterwards, about a week later, and just went on as usual. So with that, infertility and miscarriage brings up a lot. And having been on this journey for more than a decade, because we've been on trying to conceive for the last almost 11 years. And yes, it's quite a long time. Our decision was based or was to go holistic and all natural. So I have not tried IVF or anything like that. Financially, it's also not viable for us. But other than that, it's just the amount of stress that it puts on your body, and a lot of other factors. We've decided to go the natural route. And being on this journey for more than a decade, stillness and mindfulness has supported me so much, to not constantly worry about the future or live in the past. Because when you're trying to conceive, I know there's so many of us, you either worry about, will I get pregnant, especially at my age. Society has this timelines for, things that they put on people, and you have to get married by this age, you have to have kids by this age, and you have to have a home by this age. And I'm just completely the opposite. And it's been completely and immensely supportive for me to practice mindfulness and bringing myself back into the moment, making sure that I feel safe and supported, even though life's challenges, it gets in the way, and you question yourself. I always bring myself back into the present, and all the tools that I have, especially mindfulness, is something that I don't know how I would have actually gone on, and how I would have survived the last decade, and supported myself. It's such a powerful tool to just ask yourself in the moment, like, is this something I can do about now, or is it something that I need to let go and surrender? And then trusting the universe that it has your back, right? It always has your back. I'm very passionate about all things holistic and self-healing. I loved the most incredible tools in the last 4 years. I'm also a 5-2 reflector in human design. If you are familiar with human design, and slowing down is literally in my DNA, and it's my life work, my life's work is Genekeys 19, which, according to the beautiful Christy Inga, calls it a sensitive soul, because it focuses on the needs of others, but in a healthy and non-self-sacrificing way. 5-2 profile is also the fixer profile, so I love helping people and supporting people. However, I had to unlearn crazy amounts of the self-sacrificing part, because growing up, that was modeled to me. Everyone around me was taking care of everyone else except themselves. It's Once you actually notice it and become aware of it, it's a hard habit to break. And till today, even though I've been doing mindfulness work for almost the last 2 years, I still find myself in loops where I put other people in front of myself. And recently, that actually also popped up, where I put other people's businesses in front of my own. So, helping other people instead of myself. So, yeah, oops. I am recording on my phone, but it's like hanging on my laptop cover. So, excuse that little shit. This is the first video, so I'm sure you will bear with me, because we all start somewhere. And a beautiful quote that Richard Rudd actually said about Genekeys 19 was, because in the whole Genekeys book, it's the siddhi, the gift of the Genekey 19 is sensitivity. And he says sensitivity is an art we all need to learn. When we've learned it, we feel so strong and connected to life, but we also feel permeable and soft. And for me, sensitivity can only come when we slow down. There's so much power in slowing down and becoming still and listening to what our body is saying to us, or the cues, the little nudges, the little, the tension in the shoulder, or the uncomfortability in your hips, or lower back pain, or, yeah, it's crazy. You should try it. Well, that's what I was put on this earth to do, is to help people slow down, become still, become mindful, become present. I was actually doing some research for a blog post, and I was talking to my husband, and I said to him, I wonder what would happen if the world, society, give stress, mental health disorders, anxiety, infertility, the kind of attention that COVID got back when it all started in 2020. I almost said 2022. Gosh, thank goodness, no. Yeah, so just imagine, with the rising statistics of stress and anxiety and infertility, I'm just wondering what would happen if it get the same attention. I can assume and I can make up things, but I know it would actually make a difference. We are so caught up in just rushing everywhere and rushing to the next thing and rushing to get to this goal and rushing to get to the next step in your career, or to the next milestone in life, and it's too much for our bodies to handle. It's way too much. When we settle down and listen and just become quiet, there's so much more to life, and it gives you the opportunity to thrive and to make sense of the challenging times. Infertility can rob you of immense peace. It can bring a lot of stress and burden to your relationship, not just with your partner, but with everyone. And like I said before, I don't think I would have been able to handle being on this journey for this long if I didn't have the tools that I have today. It's such a transformational tool. But anyway, I'm not going to go in much further depth in this little introduction video. I wanted to just pop in and say hello and give you a tiny bit of input or a tiny bit of insight into who I am, what I'm about. You can expect some amazing stories on here. There's talks or there's things in the work of starting a podcast, but I'm not yet 100% there yet. But so far, I hope you will find this platform or this channel or me to support you in your journey, whether that's, going through immense life stresses, going through infertility, whether you are dealing with going through a miscarriage or a child loss or whatever the case may be. Stress is not just related to infertility. Stress can be anything. There can be financial stress, there can be relationship stress, work stress. I mean, we all know work stress. We've all been there. Family stress, illnesses. There's so much. Life is just busy. But I'm here to teach you incredible tools to help you take control back. Take control back of your life. Just grow in relationships, grow as a person, heal the immense fear and the grief and the shame that comes with infertility. There's so much healing that exists when it comes to all of this, and I'm really, really grateful to be able to support you with this. It's taken me about a year to get to this point, 13 months since I launched my mindfulness business last year. Website details is in the description. Please hit subscribe. If my story resonates with you, or if anything that I speak to you or speak about today resonate with you, it's time that we take control and slow down the track that we are on. We cannot go on like this. Our bodies will not survive. Your relationships will not survive. And in the end of the day, we've only got one life. So I hope you enjoy my channel, and starting on Friday, I will have my mindful moments here on YouTube, where I'll just share short little practices where you can just set your alarm and take a few moments to breathe, just to, just that exhale. I explain it as that exhale because that exhale is just like incredibly supportive. So Thank you for listening for the last 20 minutes. I hope I see you again here. Please like, please comment, please feel free to send me an email or chat to me on Instagram. I am still on there. However, I'm mostly on email and my blog and on YouTube now. Yay! So welcome again. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys on Friday.